What qualifications will these two tribes have that the rest of the tribe don't have? Even yourself, even if you went no school and you are the chairman or the president, how can you do that? Watu wangapi wa bodaboda wako in the board of management of anything. Sasa uliambia watu hiyo maneno, ukawa president, au watu wamesaulika.
Truly delighted to have you on Business Glide, your go-to point on matters public policy analysis, business and economics at large. With yours truly, the resident economist, son of the soil, Richard Mwenje. It is always a pleasure and true delight to have you on board. We don't take your support for granted, and every time you tune in, we know that you indeed are also playing your part in what we consider public service, what we do here. And with me today to dissect the conversation of the day, touching on a raft of issues in the world of economy, is none other than Job Simon Ombati, the author of the book that is Kenya the Beloved. He's a Kenyan based in the United States of America. He's actually graced some of our editions before, and we did find it fit for him to at least grace one more before he leaves and flies back to continue serving USA and also serving Kenya indirectly. Thank you so much for always coming through for us.
Thank you, sir.
And you look really good.
Thank
Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Where have you been for the last 1 month? We haven't seen you around.
Oh my God, you can look at me now. You see I've lost some weight. I traveled in Kenya. I didn't lose weight because hakuna chakula. I lost weight because I traveled a lot. And I went from Kitale to Nanyuki to Mombasa. I went back to Kisii to Nakuru. Oh my God, I've been everywhere. Yeah. I have met so many people. I am so glad, but time is too short. I have to go back. I will be back, God willing. I'm telling you, I love this country. If I had a job here, if you give me a job tomorrow, I will not go back to US. But I don't have a job. And I don't want to stay in Kenya jobless. But if you give me a job, Richard, believe me, I will start working tomorrow. Yeah.
And actually, there are many youths who are jobless in Kenya. And now that I said you are flying back probably a day or two from now, there are those who believe I should also go back with Job Ombati. And I'm driving the point to the issue to do with labor migration industry. And we are seeing Kenyan being really enthusiastic about the idea of exporting labor, even at a time when we are understaffed in some of our critical sectors.
Yeah.
And now that you're based in diaspora and you are seen a citizen in Kenya, let me ask you this. Do you consider that to be a sacrosanct idea, an idea that we should consider noble and one that we should pursue with so much vigor and interest? Exporting labor.
First of all, out there, many countries discriminate against African people.
In this day and age?
Yes. Go to Europe and see how many of our people are being discriminated. Go to Arab country. In many cases, our people are treated like third-class human beings. They are given the worst of jobs. They are given the worst of conditions under which they work. They are given very little money, and they are given very little freedom. Our people go out of this country to look for jobs because conditions in this country are difficult. If we had made job opportunities available in our country, many of our youth will work. If we give electricity to our youth, they will work by creating jobs for themselves. If we will give incentive and support our farmers, many of them will produce a lot and they will not go outside. As I said last time, let people go out of this country by themselves willingly when they want.
Without coercion.
No coercion, and don't make conditions so hard for them to jump out. Let's make our house clean by creating job opportunities, humble opportunities for businesses, and many of our people will not go out. They only go out there because conditions here are hard. So this job exportation is not they are exporting because we want to. It's because we must. If there's no food here, you have finished school, you have finished college, you can't find a job. So you have to go out, even in Saudi Arabia, you have to go out even to the desert to get even $10 instead of staying without. So what I would say is the government of Kenya needs to stop this mentality, as I said last time, of sending people out thinking that this is a good idea. Make conditions better for people in Kenya. Let people go out on their own willingly. Please don't make conditions so hard that they have to go.
It actually goes without saying that this government is sort of obsessed with wanting Kenya to be the Singapore of Africa, and they're actually already likening it to the Singapore of Africa. But let me ask you, now that we are talking about matters employment, the other day we saw the Kenyan court squash and declare null and void the recent appointment of over 1,400 Kenya revenue assistants on the basis that they were appointed more or less based on ethnic grounds. Majority of them came from two ethnic groups, two tribes, just to say so. And let me ask you, you've been in a developed country, or I should say nation. Do you consider that we are drinking a poison chalice, but pretending that we're actually making 4 steps ahead?
I am telling you, I said this before. Kenya is not Singapore. We are far away from being Singapore of Africa. This talking point does not make us Singapore. Just look at that issue of employment. Just think about it. Kenya has more than 44 different ethnic groups. We have 44 different tribes. Why would somebody appoint civil servants from 2 or 3 or 4 tribes and leave the rest of them? What qualifications will these 2 tribes have that the rest of the tribe don't have? Even yourself, even if you went no school and you are the chairman or the president, how can you do that? You just find the best people only from 2 tribes? How is that possible? When you look at it, the Supreme Court did the right thing. But at the same time, the president should look at this governing style and ask himself, is this really possible? How can I put Kalenjins all over here, put Kikuyus over here? What about the other tribes?
Mijikendas,
What about
Pokomos,
them? What about the Pokot? What about the Samburus or the Somalis? What about the Kisis? What about the Luo? What about the Teso? What about our desert tribes? Does it mean they don't have sons and daughters who are educated and capable to work? That's why I said last time, the president needs to have people who would tell him the truth and tell him honestly that, Mr. President, this lineup is wrong. We can't just have people from 2 tribes governing this country. First, is wrong. Second, is tribalistic. Thirdly, it's foolish. And fourthly, it doesn't make sense. In whichever way you look at it, it is wrong. So, Mr. President, you need to have some people with you who can tell you, this is one tribe, if we don't know. This is another tribe. We have 40 tribes in Kenya.
And above.
Please choose people from every part of the country so that you can also lift their morale, so that you can also incentivize them, so that their sons and daughters can see, if you go to school, you can also become something. But what are you telling Kenyans when you appoint people from 2 tribes to govern with you? What are you telling Kenyans? That Kenyans don't have brains? They don't have people educated more than those 2 tribes? Just think about it. It is wrong. Change it.
So far, we've actually seen Kenya celebrate 60 years of independence, and we are actually slightly ahead of that. And we've always had this convention that we are now independent and we are sort of a fair and just society. But looking at appointments into the civil service, oftentimes you've said it's based on tribalism, tribalistic grounds and other discriminatory grounds. Would you consider Kenya to be a country that is still big on double standards and hypocrisy, which still considers some of the tribes children of a lesser god, or some of the sections of the society?
When we think on tribal grounds, we are kind of like small-minded. At this time, 21st century, if you can look people on the lenses of tribe, I think you need to think again. This is 21st century. When I walk or drive in this country, as I've been doing the whole month, when I see Kenyan youth, I never ask them what tribe they are. I ask you, Richard, what's your name? Richard Mwenje. Okay, David, okay. That's Pius, okay. I never ask what tribe they are. They are Kenyans. Why would I ask somebody his tribe or her tribe? He's a Kenyan. What qualifications do you have? Show me. You are looking for this job, and we have this job. We do the interview, the best candidate win, without considering tribe.
Merit takes the front row seat.
Absolutely. Now, when you look at the lineup of this president, civil servant, when you look at it, you wonder, this president doesn't know tribe? And if he doesn't know about tribe, how come only 2 tribes are governing? What about the Luo, who are very educated? What about the royal people, the Akamba people? Do they not have sons and daughters who can work? We need to stop thinking on tribal grounds, please. We need to think about our country. All the tribes are the same. They are Kenyans. Give people jobs based on their qualification, not on tribal ground.
You are a senior citizen and you've been here for quite a number of decades. And let me ask you, what danger lies in what we are currently experiencing in Kenya, say discrimination based on different grounds in matters service to the nation? Could it at some point morph into a revolution? Is it something that could happen in the near future should nothing be changed?
It does not only or necessarily lead to revolution, but it keeps us round and round. We keep going round and round.
In a bondage, sort of?
Yes, we are kind of not moving forward. We are just moving around. Because if you are a Kikuyu, you want the Kikuyus to be in position. When you are not president, a Kalenjin comes, he brings all the Kalenjins from the ghetto. They want to be somewhere. Next time, a Kamba comes, he wants the Kambas around. So everybody says, our people, it is our time to eat. Eat what? What are we here to eat? We are here to develop our country. We are here to move forward. It's not like it's our time. It's our son or our daughter. Let's make this country work for everybody. These tribalistic appointments keep us going round and round.
Good enough. Let me ask you, moving on swiftly with this conversation on economic matters, there are those who believe the country is still shackled in the doom that is the rising cost of living. But there are those who will consider that maybe this government is worthy the praise on fight against the rising cost of living, and they are really putting on sufficient strides to lower the cost of living. From where you sit as a senior citizen and also as a Kenyan based in diaspora, do you feel the president has really put much effort into addressing the crisis and the tears of the Kenyan who cannot put the food on the table?
The president is trying, but he needs to do more. Talking is one thing. Action is another. I remind him about President Kibaki. President Kibaki never used to talk much. He never used to travel. But look what he did to this country. Look what Kibaki did. The economy was very good. Unemployment was very low. Development was seen. Look at the highways he built. Mwai Kibaki brought free education. Mwai Kibaki did so much without talking too much. He It did work. But this president has talked so much and has done so little. If the plans he has, if he can just implement them, the plans are good. He has good plans, but they should be implemented. If those plans are implemented, then the cost of living will just improve. The life our Kenyan people will improve, but he needs to put this policy into action. And as I said last time, the president must stop taxing Kenyans the way he is doing. He is taxing Kenyans so much. Farmers now are unable to produce the way they used to produce because they are being taxed so much. Small business people cannot make any profit because of too much tax. As I said again, tax is okay. Even Jesus said you should pay tax. Taxing people is okay, but there is a level of taxing you do. There are some things or some commodities you don't tax. They are tax-free. And there are areas where you don't tax more than 0.5% of what you produce. You tax them, but very minimally, so that they can produce more. But if you tax them, everything they have, they stop producing. Then, when the production is down, then income correction goes down.
True. It has a ripple effect, multiply effect.
Yes, they should think about this. I don't know who is the financial advisor to this president. I don't even know who is the finance minister to this president, because they should sit down with him and say, Mr. President, yes, we are taxing people, but we are not going to kill our people, our business, or because of taxing.
There are definitely alternatives to it, to grow the country into prosperity.
Absolutely. Let's grow the economy, which will produce jobs for our people, which will improve the living of our people, the living standard of our people. At the same time, help our people bring more goods from outside. So by so doing, we are creating jobs everywhere. And that is how the economy grows. At the same time, the government should chip in, give some incentives to some sectors so that they can produce more. Hii maneno wanasema kila siku tumewapatia fertilizer, tumewapatia fertilizer.
Tumetenga.
Amesema maneno ya fertilizer for the last 1 year. Na fertilizer ingine walipewa na President Putin. Kama chukueni hii ni zawadi. Akawapatia zawadi. Wanakuja hapa napiga makelele, tumewapatia fertilizer. Sasa unanipatia fertilizer na sina seeds ya kupanda. Hiyo fertilizer itanisaidia nini? Alafu nikipanda maembe ama maharagwe kidogo, unakuja unachukua tax. Sasa nitapenalty aje? So they need to think about this thing correctively, and then they give Kenyans room to breathe so that Kenyans can create more jobs, and therefore income correction will improve.
Will definitely ramp up.
It is very simple financial plan, very simple, but they don't want to use it.
You need good men and women around you to advise you better.
And who can tell you the truth. You want men and women to tell you, Mr. President, if we do this, it will bring this effect. If we do this, it will cut this one. Let's do this one.
Are you actually signaling that maybe President Ruto, even aside his economic advisor, that he is actually surrounded even more by sycophants and not people who can tell him, President, you are naked, you need to really do this and that?
That's one point. The second point is the people he surrounds himself with don't know much.
Are they there for their personal interests?
Many of them don't know much. Thirdly, just look at them. I'm not just imagining. Look at the people around the president, what I can call the president's men.
Or
Look
kitchen
at them.
cabinet.
Yes. Thirdly, most of the people cannot tell him the truth. They just agree and say, yes, Mr. President.
Yes.
They agree. They don't tell him this can't work. They can't tell him this is wrong. So we need those people around the president. And I'm also asking Mr. President,
Sure.
keep your promises, please. Ulisema Utaunda serikali na kina mama mboga, watu wa bodaboda, watu wa chini. Ulisema mwenyewe tutaunda serikali ya watu wa chini.
Mtoto wa maskini.
Watu wangapi wako kwa cabinet yako? Watu wangapi wa bodaboda wako in the board of management of anything? Sasa uliambia watu hiyo maneno, ukawa president, au watu wamesaulika. Mr. President, am I wrong?
But maybe the president's hands are tied because him and many other people in his government are saying, we did come, found dilapidated coffers, we inherited a very poor economy, much had been stolen from the public coffers. Maybe just his hands are tied. There's little he can do about that, at least not in the short term.
And that disappoints me.
Why
That
so?
is what they keep on saying. We came to the government, there was no money. He has been saying this for the past 1.5 years. Things don't work like that. You don't keep on blaming the previous regime. Build your regime. Build your economy. Move us forward. Stop going back every day saying, oh, Uhuru did this, Uhuru did this. Just stop this. Build this economy forward. You have said it for the last 2 years. Now next time utasema, unajua, past the first term, sikukuwa na economy, nipatie another chance, ndio nione. Hiyo maneno tumezoea. You have 3 years ahead. Start making progress. Build the economy of this country. Wewe Deputy Gachagua, tafadhali wacha hii maneno ya kuangalia in the mirror. Look forward and take this country forward.
Well, there you have it from Job Simon Ombati saying there's need for the president to stop looking at the rear view mirror and instead focus on the future and deliver Kenyans to the promised land, that which he and his supporters promised the nation at large and also Africa at large. Yes. That has been our conversation, talking a plethora of issues in the world of economies, talking matters employment, taxation regime of the day, promises and even more promises from the government, the labor migration industry, you name it. We've covered it all for you and unpacked in a way that you and any other person seated next to you can easily understand, grasp, and actually take in and help him or her make informed decisions about his money and also about his democratic rights and privileges. That has been the conversation for the day. Always a pleasure to have you on board. Time now for our fan of the week, and we give this distinguished honor to Job Simon Ombati to say hi to some of our followers who are with you in US, and maybe any other person you wish to say hi to.
Actually, I would like to say that we have been watching Herman Manyora's show. Richard's very, very informative conversations.
Nashukuru.
I've been watching. My wife and my kids, we always watch in our house. I came to realize that some of my friends, even from Texas, they have been watching. When I came to your show last time, one of my friends called me, Dixon. He called me and said, hey, I watched you. I saw you. I said, where did you see me? Oh, I saw you on TV. I was like, oh, that's great. So you watch it. So we have people in Texas, in Minnesota, in New Jersey watching, in Ohio. So this is a very good show. We have people also in Arab countries watching. This show is watched by so many people. And I believe that when I say we want this country to succeed, I'm speaking on behalf of all the diaspora.
Asante
because
sana.
we want the best for this country. And I'm very supportive of your work. Please continue. I talked to you. You met my brother and my son.
All right.
So work with them.
Sure.
Continue this work and let God bless you. I hope our president will understand what we are saying. I hope our president will listen to a point of reason and in fact steer this country forward.
Very well.
Stop tribalism, stop nepotism, and stop just thinking that you know everything. Lead this country forward in a nice and a careful way. That's all we say. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. We're also humbled to have you on board every other time you get time to visit us. Na usalimu sana watu wa Marekani na all those people supporting us back there. And they are true brothers and sisters, and we really love them and we appreciate their input to the nation and also to us here at Herman Manyora channel.
Amen.
Asanteni sana. Up next on your screen is the Business Glide African Proverb of the Day. Until when you see each other next, do enjoy the rest of your viewing.